Winning.
I've outsmarted you on a number of levels.
Beta. Well, actually, King's not. Beta.
That was a hot mess inside a dumpster fire, inside a train wreck.
Keep your mouth shut. I'm going to go in there and slap your face.
You know, we're going to rise like the Phoenix. And
Get in my limousine. Ride on 85. Get in my Learjet. Woo!
Welcome to the Asterisk Conclusion Podcast. You are here with the king himself. I'm joined by Nate Gate and the Grizz. Woo! That's right,
What's going
boys.
on, everybody?
Whew. Amazing.
Going on?
Not much, man. Whew. Amazing week of fantasy. A lot of drama. We're getting in the home stretch, man. Points race creeping up on us and everything. It's a exciting time in the Ashland Cup, that's for sure. I was hoping maybe we could super exciting.
Yeah. Not as exciting as that game last night.
No, that was garbage. Brief moment. I love how the 49ers are getting so much love from the game last night when the Cardinals are terrible. I was just don't get me wrong, the Niners played well, but I'm you're really not playing anyone.
I don't know if you guys noticed. I was watching ESPN. I was like, do I have this on the wrong channel? It felt like a bad dream. If you watched the introduction of the game, that was awkward.
No, what was that?
It was in Mexico.
Oh, that's right.
You didn't see it? It was
No.
awkward. I thought the whole thing was weird. This felt weird. It was very odd. The whole thing was odd. And then they even said that the game was I think a few thousand feet elevated from Denver or something like that. So it's been a very awkward place to play in.
Interesting. Well, guys, let's jump into some matchups from last week and do a quick recap of all the amazing games and some of the brutal ones too. I'll go ahead and rip this Band-Aid off and jump into the game of the week, which was Huza and King Koopa, which really wasn't much of a game.
Well,
Get right into it. You're not playing around.
Oh wow! I was just get our ratings up talking about this barn burner. Let me tell you, unbelievable.
Well, I kind of told you I wasn't trying to kill you, but you did not have much of a chance. I think that week it just didn't look. Your matchups just were not supportive.
No, it didn't help that Goff gave me 9 points, which surprisingly enough wasn't the worst quarterback this week.
Yeah, that was 9 more points than Cousins.
That's true. We'll get to that game soon enough. There may be some bashing. But yeah, overall, none of my players really did well. The best player was Swift, and he gave me 12 points. That's pretty bad.
For as much as I saw Pacheco on the field, I'm surprised he only got 10. So he was hustling out there for you, King.
Well, it would have been nice if he could have gotten a touchdown, but yeah, no, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, he's kind of emerged as the go-to back at Kansas City now. CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is done, garbage. And I'm not sure about anyone else. What do y'all think?
Yeah, he's the guy.
I think Kansas City is a really good football team. And like I said, it's all about Kelsey. I think everybody else is just an afterthought. You think this is going to stop, but he's not going to do it again the next week. And here he goes again. He had 3 touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
Or 2 days ago. It's unbelievable. It's they don't even cover the guy half the time. It drives me nuts. He's just wide open.
Well, it was funny. I saw an article, and I think it's sent to you guys about Kelsey. Is the difference between him and the number 2 tight end in fantasy? the gap between them is bigger than what the number 2 tight end is, and I think it was the 33rd tight end listed on fantasy. Like, it was that big of a gap. So
I mean, I wonder. I mean, he's had some great years, but I bet you if you looked at it statistically, this is probably the best year he's ever had in fantasy football.
probably.
Or has he got like 50 touchdowns? It would know.
All over it. But let's get as bad as the game was, let's just jump back into the who's a king matchup. I will say who's with Pollard and Hooper, which shocked that Hooper did well. I mean, both those combined just kind of killed me right there.
Pollard and the Cowboys they're finding their identity. You gotta give credit to the Cowboys, and I want to see. I know we've all hated on the Cowboys forever. I think I've hated on them for so long. Now I'm kind of curious to see what they're capable of, because I do think they're good in all facets of the game, and we are ready to write them off at the beginning of the year. So Cowboys and Pollard are looking polished right now, and I want to see if they can carry that into the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm kind of hesitant. I mean, I think they'll go into the playoffs, but Dak is just not, in my opinion, he's not a closer. He throws one too many interceptions and such. So, but that's me. Let's jump into the next matchup, which was Dr. Drill versus Magic Mike, and
that was a barn burner.
That's the trade one right there. Magic Mike was having some fun with that this week, and I mean, that was a weird one. We kind of talked about that. I mean, God, he got 23 points out of his kicker. Oh my God, he got 0 out of the defense. But that happens about once every 2 years. You get that kind of point out of your kicker. That's amazing.
That is true, and
that's where Drill kind of lost it. He just lost it right there with kicker and defense. And Gatos may have to weigh in on that one, because Gatos wants to get rid of kickers and defense. He wants to get the tight end position, but he wants to get rid of kickers and defense. I love the bitching and moaning in our league. It's hilarious.
It is. What were your takes, Nate?
Yeah, it was exciting. It was crazy. Like Magic, got nothing out of his quarterback, nothing out of his D, and just packed it in the middle and called his shot. Like, let's see who wins, and then gets 2 TDs out of Kittle and
that's what it was.
Ayuk, man, that was pretty funny.
I think Drill should go out there and just drink a bottle of Beam tonight, because he lost to Davis Mills. That's pretty insulting in all standards. You lost to Davis Mills.
Yeah, that's not.
But yeah, he's laughing in the rearview mirror, because right now he's still in the driver's seat.
He is. It
wasn't a big blow for Drill. He can absorb that.
Yeah, but I will point out, Debo 21 points. The Kittle Ayuk trade netted roughly 42, 43 points. So
look at Magic Mike. Magic Mike's got 5 wins. That's amazing.
Dude, I gotta give Magic credit for pulling his season out of the dumpster fire. I mean, I wish I had that. But I gotta give him credit. He's done really well.
Hey, Coop, who's last place in the league in wins?
Oh, that's me. I mean, I'm
just busting your chops.
I don't know. I mean, some dude, I don't know. Hey, I'll tell you what. I don't like. I know. Was it? Is it the last? Is it last place of record or points buys the ring?
I forget, honestly. I think it should be
everything's points.
Points. So last place in points buys the ring.
Either way, it's you.
Is it really me? Both ways?
I got it sorted.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Good news, you're only 20 behind first and goal, so only 30 behind sleeper, so you got time to work this out, King.
That's where the real points race is, guys. That's the tight.
The key is to be second from the bottom.
Second from the bottom.
Pros.
That's right. But if I end up getting the ring, guys, I will get a nice ring for whoever ends up winning this sucker. So I don't waffle on that.
Speaking of waffling, you want to talk about first and goal and Gatos?
let's talk about some first and goal and Gatas. If there was a game, I might argue this was almost as bad as mine and whose's. But yeah, no. First and goal, got good production out of Daniel Jones, Devontae Adams, and Grizz.
That was about it.
That was about it. There was a lot of crap out there.
I was watching the Philly. There's a couple ugly games I noticed at 1 o'clock, and there's a lot of low scoring games. But the Ravens game with Carolina was just ugly. The Eagles game was ugly. And we all know what the Cowboys did to the Vikings. And, that kind of is the synopsis of what happened over some of these games. And Ryan Gatos was victim to that. And, goal squeaking out another one. Barkley only had 5 points. That's surprising. I'm really interested in Shaquan or pronounce his name. But I wonder what the Giants are going to do with Barkley. Do they let him walk? Do they pay him? That's going to be a tough decision. But there's not a whole lot to talk about in that matchup. It was a pretty vanilla the whole way through.
Yeah, not even a point at a Cousins. That's kind of pathetic right there, I will say.
We talked about that how many weeks about how Gata should have got a quarterback, and he's paying for it.
He's blown it many times this year. I'm kind of questioning his management skills right now.
He's got a good bench. He could have capitalized. I think he's won championships before. It's been a while, but man, I tell you, he could have done something. I think he really, out of all the teams in this league, I think he had an opportunity to take more chances, and he didn't.
Yeah, a lot of missed opportunities for Gatos. Maybe he's lost his edge ever since marriage. All right, let's jump into LTD and Nate Gate. Nate Gate taking one on the chin here.
Yeah, man, that was for a visit from the Comish, man. We were down to the last plays, man. Yeah, he had a
lost it because Arizona.
Huh?
You just lost to Arizona. Between Moore and your defense, you had a good week. 132 is not bad. You kind of got shafted in that one. So, Amari Cooper got 31 points. Wow. Amari Cooper's quietly had a good year because we always think about players like him, you don't want to touch him, especially with Watson being out. And the Browns are a funny team; they love to run the ball, but Cooper's been quietly effective the whole year.
Yeah,
and it's he's been on multiple teams now, and he's older, but he's still doing it.
Yeah, and actually, I didn't even realize until Nate Gate mentioned it. This was for points, and 137 for high points just seems kind of low to me. It's not a bad score. It's just like you normally at least get in the 140s, 150s for
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I tuned in about midday, and I was freaking out. I forget what I had, but I was like, "Oh, I've got no shot. I'm probably falling behind." But then I started paying attention to NFL scores, like you were talking about, Grizz, and I was like, "Oh, everybody's doing bad this week." So
yeah. Well, I will say,
it was bad everywhere. I thought I was going to win it because after the 1 o'clock games, I had close to 100 some points, and I still had a few players left. But then Fields fumbled or threw a pick, and then somebody fumbled the ball. And then my last three players the Vikings defense, that was negative points. So, man, I was in the driver's seat. I was feeling pretty high on Sunday. Then it came to a crash.
How you feeling about Fields going forward?
I don't know, man. I was talking to Gatos today. It's like, man, I have two really good quarterbacks. And I think it's just Grizz shining down, man. I think it's unbelievable. I got two really good quarterbacks, and both of them are hurt now, and it's just going to be. I hate monitoring my team. I really do. You like to have players that are healthy, and it's just going to be frustrating. If I have Allen, and imagine if Fields and Allen are out for the year at some point, that'd be just hilarious. Actually, you'd have to sit back and laugh. But yeah, that's a hard loss for you, Nate. You had that one almost wrapped up in the week. God,
I know, man. It's killing me.
Well,
at least it was to LTD instead of it would have hurt more if it'd been to the drill, but
well, one positive note to that, both of y'all cut into Drill's lead a little bit.
we did.
inch by inch, guys, inch by inch.
It's tightening up. It was 60 from me to drill and 60 from me to LTD, and now we're 50 apart each. So it's
That's nothing.
save 20 points off of that margin. Yeah, it's getting a little tight up at the top.
Whew, I like it. The cream always rise. Let's jump into the next matchup with Oracle and Tuna. This was actually an extremely close matchup. Oracle squeaking this one out.
Big win for the Oracle.
7-4.
I mean, this is the best year Oracle's ever had in the league. I'm very happy for the guy. People's champion.
Absolutely. I mean, he definitely put together a really good starting lineup in spite of losing Cup. So we'll see how he can kind of piece it together going forward. Really, the only thing that's jumping out at me is tight end. He's got to figure out that. But yeah, he's looking solid.
But his best player is Williams because of that trade still, and that is now hilarious. I mean, he is getting like a touchdown or two every freaking week.
Yeah,
I notice this kill. That's like eating away at Coop's soul. Every time I see Williams score, I just think about Coop and laugh.
Coop, like straight up, I'm a Swift owner too. Would you trade Swift for Williams and straight up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would.
It's crazy. I would not have thought of that, and he's just doing great. So Swift's fine, but Williams is always like upping him by, in this case, doubling him up. So it's wild.
Yeah, it'll be real interesting to see what Oracle does going forward. I mean, with Cooper Kupp out, I mean, he's going to have to rely on some other receivers to get him some more points. But ironically, I was giving Oracle crap at the beginning of the season for like his running back situation. And now I think that's more of his strength, and now his receivers are kind of flip-flopped on him. So, yeah.
That's fancy.
That's fantasy, baby. Whew. But yeah, Tuna had a good week. Rogers solid. D. Henry solid. Even got points out of Donovan Peoples-Jones. Amazing. Those Cleveland receivers.
That's a bold start.
Well, let's touch. Hey, we got one more matchup, and that's old Grizz Fields of Dreams versus the old Sleeper, and it looks like you took him out to the woodshed and slapped him around.
How many of us started a quarterback that got less than 10? I mean, like we got Gatos, we got the King, we got Sleeper. Didn't Magic Mike get less than 10 from his quarterback? I mean, maybe Mills might have been at 10. If we set the line 11, at least like a third of the league got less than 11 from their quarterbacks this week.
Yeah,
it was a bad week of football, and the weather's going to get worse. So
yeah,
this may be a trend. I wouldn't, don't think that these quarterbacks are going to run crazy here. And like I said, there's a lot of guys dealing with injuries right now.
That's true. Any word on Fields? Like, how's his injury?
I've heard it's day-to-day. It's not a dislocation, but he's got a sore shoulder, and it's not his throwing shoulder. If I was the Bears, they suck. Honestly, I'd put him on the bench for a week or two to see what the backup can do, if he's even capable. The season's over. And just let the guy rest for 2 weeks, and I think he'll be back to normal. Fields is a physically strong guy, and he's young. He's not old like us anymore. It takes us 4 weeks to heal. He'll probably be healed up in a week. But I think I would have won the week pretty easily if I had Minnesota show up. Like I said, Nate got kind of kicked there, and God, I just hate that. I tell you what, I was hoping I had high hopes for my tight end. I pronounce his name Dulcich or whatever. Yeah. And Russell Wilson's straight garbage this year. I mean, that whole Denver team. Like, I just want to. If you have anybody on that team, I think even Russell Wilson. If you're a fantasy owner, you cut him. He shouldn't even be on a roster.
It's a little ironic for me because, like, at the beginning of the season, if you had said, like, who's the better fantasy roster to have, the Denver Broncos or Seattle Seahawks, I think everyone would have said Broncos. And boy, was everyone wrong, because
Broncos hot going into the season.
Yeah, everybody wanted
everybody wanted Sutton, Judy, Wilson. The running back they had from Williams, I guess it is.
Yeah.
I mean, they were sexy, and I mean, it couldn't have gone in a worse direction. They're awful.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Sleeper did okay. I mean, Higgins played good for him. Najee showed up this week. He really hasn't played that great all year long. He got killed by not paying attention to his roster with Tony out. And I think
No,
Sleeper.
Tony played. So that was actually
Oh,
like,
did he?
that was like the big hype play was like Kadarius Toney was supposed to
Yeah.
go off this week. Half of the Chiefs wide receivers were hurt, and then he gets hurt, like pulls a hamstring like first play.
He was hurt and they
for the
traded.
season, man.
He made one of those soft players, but Sleeper was trolling the board last night saying, "Oh, Grizz, you should have picked up such and such." I'm like, "Yeah, let me do that Monday Night Football and cut Christian Kirk. Like, I'm not doing that. You can win the week, but Sleeper's had a tough year, and he just likes to be Sleeper. So just moving on. Not much to be said about that. He does what he does, and he likes to cause some friction. Sleeper is hilarious at times, though. He makes the league lively.
No,
So we got that's basically the whole week right there, Coop. Are we gonna get in next week or this week coming up?
Let's hold off on that. Maybe we can squeeze in another pod like after Thanksgiving, after a little turkey, after a little stuffing. I don't know. But one topic I did kind of want to get into while we still have a little bit of time left is talking about this points race. Like what y'all's thoughts are. I know we touched on it about like how it's tightened up at the top, but do y'all think anyone else has any chance to challenge, or do you think it's a 3-horse race?
You want me to set the table for you guys?
Please.
All right. So, Drill's at 1,500 points. I'm in at 1,450. LTD is at 1,400. And then Oracle, 1,347. Gatos, 1,300. So Gatos is exactly 200 behind Drill. Tuna's right behind Gatos. Grizz, you're right behind Gatos. So there's a few of y'all, huzzah. But, what do you think is like an achievable points to overcome with this many weeks left? I mean,
you want to be 200 up to get comfortable. Drill's definitely not comfortable. I think we all know, and Oracle knows, he's not going to hold on to that spot. Right now it's you, LTD, and Drill's in the driver's seat, and this week will be really important. But this was the first week only. I don't know where you guys were, where your heads were going into this week of football. I was like, man, this season's kind of it's moved along quite rapidly. But I started thinking, I was like, I wonder when the playoffs start for our league. It's got to be 3 weeks away.
Yep.
So I mean, every you gotta look at your waiver wire budget. You want to look at your matchups, look at your roster. And I was actually, if you want to look at something funny, look at my roster week 14. It's pretty hilarious. I basically have like half my roster on bye, and whoever I'm playing that week, if I pull that off, it'd be a miracle. But we're in crunch time. So we say we have 3 weeks of regular, and then the playoffs are 3 weeks too, correct? So we have 6 weeks. So, I'm looking and breaking down. If I'm at the top like you guys, you three, I'm going to study every single week for your team, Drill, and LTD. And I'm going to sit there and look and say, hey, I want to try to do this, and that. Because we still have the trades open. So, if you're at the top, I would wheel and deal. It's going to be tight. I'm surprised. I mean, we hadn't had a trade in a while. It's been like 2 weeks.
I was expecting after that got extended, we were going to see some blockbuster come through.
If you want to win, you better shake and bake.
We'll see what happens.
Gatos needs some Josh Allen.
I think, I'll be honest, I think anyone outside of Drill, Nate Gate, and LTD is out of it. I know, Gatos is who's above Gatos between LTD and Gatos? Oracle. I mean, I think even Oracle's out of it. I mean, unless I think he would have to get on a stupid run, which I just don't see it happening, only because bye weeks.
It's happened before, though. We talked about that a little bit, because I've seen there was 1 year Drill had 3 weeks in a row where he had 200 points.
I mean,
And it's some wild stuff that goes on in fantasy football. It's so unpredictable. It's like playing blackjack and you win 10 hands straight all of a sudden. You never know what's going to happen.
it could. I'm hedging my bets on that, like that it's actually gonna come to fruition. I'm sticking with like it's between Drill, Nate Gate, and LTD.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I called this out several weeks ago. Drill blew his wad. He's got $0 on the free agent budget. I wonder if that's going to come back and bite him in the butt. I think it might.
Hey, just remember, everybody bid $1.
$1 all it takes.
$1.
I mean, he should have kept about $5 in there or something because, and man, I tell you what, if he loses because of that, I think he may burn down his house. Who knows? He may lose it.
Burn down this pod, probably.
What's it? Kenyon Drake? Who did he blow all that money on?
I think it was Drake.
$86, dude. Whew.
Well, I mean, I think the worst one of the year by far was Souza. He spent 70 or something on Ebner.
Ebner,
yeah, that was really bad. At least like Drake. I mean, Drake's been productive, and
he's had some good games.
He's had some good games. I mean, is it $86 worth? Who knows? It depends if Drill wins it all. But yeah, Ebner for whatever. Who's it paid? That was garbage.
Well, look, a big tuna sitting there at $62. And lo and behold, let's just talk about who's the most conservative person we know ever.
Got this.
$72 still. Is that a shocker? I think if Nasty was in the league, I don't think he'd even spend any money. He'd probably trade it for beer. That'd be about it.
That's true. I mean, Mr. Tightwad Gatos, dude, holding on to that $72.
It means something. It's a fantasy football electric currency cash. You know, he can trade it to crypto. Who knows?
Found a loophole. That would be Gatos. Cryptogate.
That's right. Crypto great. He wants to transfer those funds into next year so he can have an advantage.
Oh yeah, it's a genius move. Well, guys, it's been a good night. Thank you for joining us on the pod. We got on some key topics. Hopefully, we'll be able to maybe if we're all free later this week, we can maybe do another one. We'll see. Play that by ear. And but
the Grizz is in Greensboro for Thanksgiving, so if anybody's available to hang out,
live pod.
we can all do a live pod together. I'll be there. I'm gonna leave Saturday probably. It's not 100% known, but yeah, I'll be there tomorrow night.
Ooh, live pod could happen. Well, boys, I'm gonna sign off for us. Nate, do you have anything you want to say?
Don't forget.
We're right and you're wrong.
You're wrong. Woo! Adios.